Are you a renter who is looking to build credit history or improve already existing credit history? Well, typically, rent does not count towards your credit report, but recently there have been agencies, services, and companies that have allowed it or made it possible for rent payment history to count towards an improvement in credit history. Well, let's talk about it. Welcome to ZHN, and today we are going to be talking about how to make your rent count towards your credit score or your credit history. TransUnion, one of the credit reporting agencies, published a study in 2021 that showed that there are about 50 million Americans who are considered credit invisible, meaning that they have no existing credit history or credit score, or already have low credit score and no means to improve or build upon it. They also discovered that when they added rent payment history to a number of people who are looking to build their credit scores, that their scores went up an average of 60 points. So there is definitely a way to make your rent, or more specifically your rent payment habit, to count towards your credit score. This brings us to rent reporting services. These are companies of late that specialize in sending the records of your rent payment history for a period of time to the credit reporting bureaus. Essentially, what they do is they send your information to, be it Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, one or more or all of them. And this counts towards showing lenders what your payment habit is, especially when you don't have any credit, or you are new to credit. So for example, students or someone who has just started renting on their own for the first time. And this benefits you because, again, it is reported on your credit history. Lenders are able to see that you are on time with your payments. There are no actions against you by your landlord for your rent, and it goes to show you're responsible with your payments. So it definitely goes a long way if you are looking to improve on your credit score, especially when it's already bad, or if you have no credit history at all. When you have no credit history, you're still new to credit, it can be very difficult to build some kind of credit that will give you a, a chance at a better interest rate when you take a loan, get a mortgage, or what have you. So having your rent payment habits being reported is definitely going to be of help. Now, for the rent reporting services, there are free and paid options. There are companies that will do it for free. There are companies where you need to pay a little something a month for them to do it. It's all about researching. But before you go out there to look, you want to check with your landlord first. A lot of landlords work with either property management firms or software, or part of programs where they have access to a rent reporting service. So you want to check with your landlord first and see if they are already working in conjunction with such a service. And of course, you want to give them permission to send your rent payment history to that service. If your landlord does not have one, then you want to do your research to start looking for one. One simple rule to keep in mind is to make sure that whatever service you sign up for sends your information to all three credit reporting agencies, meaning Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And why do you want to pick one that reports to all three? All three companies are three distinct companies. So information that makes it to one does not necessarily make it to the other two companies, unless whoever is sending the information sends it to all three companies. So for example, if you have a credit card and it shows up on your credit report, it means your credit card, be it Amex, Visa, MasterCard, Amazon, whoever, is sending the same information for you to all three companies. This is very important because if you pick a rent reporting service that only reports to one, you run the risk of trying to get a loan from a company that uses another one or a different company to do their credit history or their credit checks. For example, you might walk into Bank of America to get a loan and they use Equifax to check their credit history, yet you've picked a rent reporting service that only reports to TransUnion. Well, when Bank of America is looking, they are not seeing that improvement in your credit history coming from your rent payment habits because it is not being reported to the credit reporting agency they use. So it is very, very important, very necessary that when you pick a rent reporting service, you pick one that reports to all three credit reporting agencies. So in the description box below, I am going to put some links to some rent reporting services I have seen, both free and paid options. This is not an ad. I am not affiliated to any of them, but it is really just like a short 3 to 5 list to help you get started on your research. If you have any questions or any comments, I am definitely interested in hearing. Please leave them down in the comment space below. I hope I've been able to be of help. Once again, this is EHN, and I wish you well in all your endeavors.